All right, this is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing and Solar. Starting my digital inspection at 6642 Avenida Manana out here in La Jolla. Whenever we start our inspections, we like to start underneath the eave of the home. So this is a closed eave, but this particular eave, you can see this is the fascia board. And the reason why we like to start underneath the eave is that it shows us what kind of wood damage we can expect. And it also shows us just how good of a job the roof is doing as far as keeping moisture off the property. You can see just how soft a lot of this wood is. There's a lot of termite damage on this wood. Now we are very close to the water. Termites do love moist wood, but it also shows us that there's a good chance the roof is not doing as good of a job as it should be when it comes to keeping moisture off of the property. Now this is a beautiful flat concrete tile roof. It looks like kind of like a slate roof. I went into the garage, noticed that we have new plywood decking over the old plank sheathing, which leads me to believe that at one point this was a wood shake roof, and they went ahead and replaced it with this beautiful product. Now the workmanship on this roof is fantastic. What you can see is they went ahead and did this staggered install to give it that slate look, and they even went as far as to trim the channels on the corners, and I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about, so that it looks really, really clean. So you'll notice, here's a good example of it. It's chipped right here, but you can see how they made this cut right here. A lot of times when people go ahead and stagger a tile like this, they won't cut that channel, and you'll see that channel is kind of exposed. So when they go ahead and cut it like that, it just makes it a really, really clean look. All right, so I'm gonna point a few things out on this roof that I noticed. So we have this dead valley right here. We got an old torch down material that's on it. You can see all of the ponding that's going on and all the granules that accumulate in these areas. So essentially what happens is whenever it rains, that water just comes down this channel and just sits over here in this section, and then the same thing down here as well. Okay, now based off this inspection, some of the things I'm seeing, I gotta imagine this roof is at least 20 to 25 years old. Now we have new O'Hagan vents, so it shows me that it is, you know, it's not more than 30 plus years old, as these were not industry standard at that point. But based off a lot of these slip tiles, I pulled this one down, you can see just how old and deteriorated this underlayment is. So fresh underlayment is going to be very thick, it's going to be very coarse, gritty, granular to the touch, and this underlayment is not that. So that shows me that the roof is on that tail end of its life expectancy. Okay, I'm going to move over to this section as well. Again, we did have some slip tiles. I believe there's actually one right here, so I'm going to start off with this section. So you can see this tile was cracked, slid down. I pulled it down a little bit more, and you can see how damaged all that underlayment is. So this underlayment has been exposed to the elements. Anytime underlayment like this is exposed, it ends up wearing completely through. So you can see everything starting to crack and deteriorate. We do have some closed valleys on this roof. Another indicator to me that, you know, this roof is not newer than 25, 20 years old or so. We want to open these valleys up when we do redo roofs. We want to open these valleys up to allow for proper flow. We want that water and debris to flow freely off of this roof. And you can see when it gets really tight like that, how everything kind of gets stuck. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. You can see how some of the debris gets stuck in there. Some of the tiles will chip off and get stuck there as well. And that ends up causing water to divert into areas of the roof where it's not supposed to. A couple more slip tiles over here in this section that I want to go ahead and point out. And again, you can see just how deteriorated this underlayment is. Everything is starting to curl up. The discoloration, it's super, super smooth, but most importantly, it's very brittle. Another slip tile down here. Again, you can see how much damage has been done to this underlayment. Unfortunately, these tiles are slipped throughout the roof in multiple areas, so it makes the tiny spot repairs a lot more difficult. Again, you can see how closed off this valley is. You can see how everything just kind of starts to get stuck in the middle of it. But again, we can see just how this stuff kind of starts to come apart. So I don't believe there's any more on on this section. You'll also notice that the majority of the penetrations, the sealant has deteriorated as well. Oils on that sealant have completely evaporated, and you can see how water and moisture is going to be coming down these pipes every time it rains. So especially when we're this close to the water, you can see the ocean is right here, this beautiful view. These roofs tend to hold a lot of moisture because it stays moist in this area. And so it's really, really important for homeowners to be proactive when it comes to roof maintenance and roof replacement. So again, this particular roof, it's on the tail end of its life expectancy. It would be a really good idea for the new homeowner to be proactive when it comes to the replacement of the roof. You also notice that we have some damaged skylights. I wanted to point this out to you before I forgot. You can see just how cracked the skylight is completely, so that's going to need to be replaced. We already went over that slip tile right there. So yes, in my professional opinion, this roof is on the tail end of its life expectancy. Now, being so close to the water, I would recommend really thinking hard about replacing this roof. But again, it is not something that is in immediate need of replacement. I can say that this roof can last another, I'll give it another 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit more, depending on the weather that we get in this area. But the tile is still in pretty good shape. So when it is time to replace it, we can go ahead and reuse the existing tile that's on this roof. We'll call that a lift and reset. We'll remove all these tiles. We'll replace the current felt underlayment, that old nasty felt underlayment. We're gonna replace that with a synthetic peel and stick underlayment. So it's very thick and sticky. It's a self-adhesive product that goes directly to the wood decking. It's fantastic in areas like this where you are so close to the water. And that comes with a 50-year warranty from Owens Corning to go along with a lifetime warranty from us over at Build Brothers. We're also going to give, we're also going to make sure that all our crews are in-house, whether it's our roofing crews or whether it's our solar crews. This is a fantastic roof for solar, so it'd be a great idea for the new homeowner to think about that as well. But if they are going to be putting solar on this roof, then I absolutely would recommend the replacement portion of the roof, just to ensure that the roof that the solar panels are going to go on is in good enough shape to withstand all those new penetrations. That's it for my inspection.